In this brief video, I'm attempting to present scriptural evidence of the identity of the beasts of Daniel and Revelation as being the monsters from the book of Job, Behemoth and Leviathan. My hypothesis is that the Behemoth is a great ape and the Leviathan a black rhinoceros. More so, I believe that the diseases HIV and cancer have been here long before the 1920s and that a cure possibly exists, the beginnings of which can be found by applying reason and sciences to the scriptures. Also documented here is the nature of the identity of the prophet Mohammed, whether in actuality or by design, that he was prophesied of and fulfilled prophetic overtones of the Islamic sciences and medicines. Genesis 16:12. It is written that Ishmael would be a wild ass of a man. Some translations do not include the word ass. However, it is worth noting that there are no wild asses existing in nature, and that only means one might come by that are if it had been abandoned or fled from abuse. Anyone familiar with the story of Ishmael and Hagar may make a connection. Donkeys are a prevalent theme in the entirety of the Bible, and it's worth noting that they are never mentioned for use as food nor as a sacrificial offering. They are far too vital to the welfare of the other animals. Genesis 16:9 records the covenant God's angel bestowed on Hagar after finding her near a spring in the desert. I will multiply the number of your descendants so much that you will not be able to count them. Anyone familiar with the conversation structure between the Elohim and human beings may derive this as a direct prophecy of the algebra, science, and mathematics and medicines attributed to the Muslim world. I suppose now would be a good time as any as to cite the progeny by which the name Muhammad originated of, or perhaps is blasphemed by. Genesis 26:34. Esau was 40 years old when he took to be his woman Judith, the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and Basmath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. They were a source of bitterness to Isaac and Rebekah. The Hittites were Ishmaelites. Genesis 28:9 also records Esau. He took as wife Mahalath, the daughter of Abraham's son Ishmael and the sister of Nebaioth. Ishmael sired 12 sons and tribes, including Nebaioth, the principal ancestor of the Nabateans. If you have not yet discovered the relationship between Nabatean Petra and Islam, it's worth pursuing. The names Basmath and Mahalath can be reduced by halves and added together to create the name Mohammed. But the similarities do not end there. Basmath and Mahalath can also make up the name Behemoth. The Behemoth becomes Baphomet, which becomes Mahomet, which becomes Muhammad. She is mentioned again in Genesis 36:10, 36:13, and 36:17. When translated to modern obscurity, hidden in cultural deceptions, the rendering of the name seems to be the word bad. Michael Jackson's Bad lyrics clearly disguise an allusion to the Prophet Muhammad. But now the attention will be on the book of Job, chapters 40 and 41. For whatever reasons, most Bible scholars either agree that these two monsters, Behemoth and Leviathan, are actual dragon-like sea monsters, or sometimes a hippopotamus. First, Job 40:15. Behold now Behemoth, which I have made with you. He eats grass as an ox. Job lived in the land of Uz, which can be placed somewhere near Iran possibly, or modern Uzbekistan. They are the world's leading producer of apricots, apricots. Job 40:17. He moves his tail like a cedar. The sinews of his stones are wrapped together. I suspect this refers to the vegetarian dung of the animal as not smelling unwholesome, and that his intestines are full of the pits of the apricots. HIV can only be traced in human bones as far back as the 1920s. It was discovered that the simian immunodeficiency virus came from large apes eating smaller monkeys infected with pre-SIV, and when humans turned the large apes, the virus mutated to become HIV. I think that the ancient Israelites or some pre-Semitic nations figured out that when they changed the diet of the ape to certain vegetarianism, people stopped getting sick, and some of the apes even became love bugs. Job 40 culminates with the nature of Behemoth with water. He drinks up a river and hastens not. I guess this refers to his ability to either discern or be immune to arsenic. His nose pierces through snares. Job 41 is on the Leviathan. 41:2. Can you put a hook through his nose? Even a child would be drawn to a rhinoceros. The animal, along with the gorilla, are nearly extinct and highly endangered, the horn of the rhino valued by poachers to be an aphrodisiac. If one rearranges the letters of aphrodisiac, it becomes African AIDS. I believe that an enzyme in the animal's stomach can be cultured in a cheese that grows into a mold which can be added to mold growing on Ezekiel bread, which may work as an antiviral in the early cases. The sheer shamelessness with which Satan gloats of his victories calls back to Enoch 7:13. They, the fallen angels' offspring, turned themselves against men in order to devour them, and began to injure birds, beasts, reptiles, and fish, and to drink blood. Now that we're in the sevens, it may be best to turn to Daniel 7. He has a vision of the 4 beast kingdoms to come on earth. These beasts come up out of the sea. The Behemoth is said to be of the invisible wilderness or desert, and Leviathan is identified as a sea monster. In Enoch 59:7, the two beasts are written as being such. Behemoth is also called Dendayan. His name he was given by Adam in the garden. When the apocalypse of Revelation was written, the symbolic nature of the sea is mentioned many times, and a star wormwood falls upon the waters, and many men die because of the bitterness of the waters. Revelations 8:11, Revelation 16:3, every living soul dies because of the sea is turned like the blood of a dead man. Revelation 20:13, the sea gave up its dead. Well, this may refer to 1/3 of mankind having died because of cancer, as the statistics are currently about 1 out of 3 people getting the disease. To recap, after Basmath is recorded in Genesis 26:34, chapter 28 records many mentions of the name Lavan, but one mention of the name Mahalath. 29 again repeatedly keeps the name Lavan occurring, as well as the theme of water. I hope this has been helpful. All I would add is the state of King Nebuchadnezzar, who is in a state of insanity, eating grass as an ox. I think he had contracted the virus and was desperately determined to do what the Israelites had taught him in his education. As an ox may more rightly be stated as an oxa or medicine. The keeper of the substance of the king was named Jotses. Here's what I made out of that, and while I don't want to make facts of my opinions, we should not forget the twisted ideology of the Thule Society to which Hitler belonged and the diabolical nature of the giants we are contending with for the future of the planet.